today. Stan is not only survived by his sweet wife Teresa, my sister-in-law, but also his sister is here today down from Virginia, Terry Valenti, the mother of David and Dan. And Stan was also survived by 5 other brothers and 3 other sisters. His mother and father are still living as Wayne William Scesny Sr. His mother, Diana Scesny. He's got brothers William. He's got brothers Edward and Joseph and Alex and Kenneth. And he also has sisters Diana, Rosemarie, and Terry. And he was also survived by 32 nieces and nephews and 2 great nieces and nephews. That's a large family.
Yeah, buddy.
I wanted to ask if there was anybody that wanted to say anything about Stan, or usually we try to open it up for 2 or 3 people. If somebody wanted to say something, they're most welcome to.
Hey, if you want to say anything about Pops? Hey, you have to put the windows in or anything? You want to say anything about Pops? No? Okay. I'll give you first go at it, dude. Well, I'll take an opportunity here to talk about my husband. Now, what a wonderful man he was. Yeah, he had his flaws. We all do. It just goes to show that we're all human. But he was a wonderful, caring man and would help you at the drop of a hat and do anything for you. And there are plenty of people around here today that know that about my husband. One thing about Stan is that he loved unconditionally. It didn't matter what I did or whatever. He loved unconditionally, just like our Father does. And I have to believe in my faith that God knew what he was doing when he took Stan away from me after just a short period of time. And so I have to believe and faith in that God knows what he's doing, just as my mom and my dad did when they told me not to stick my hand into the fire. It was for my own good. And with that, I'll leave it at that. And I love my husband deeply. I will see him again. There will never be anybody to replace him. I will never have a MacGyver, because that's who I was married to. I was married to MacGyver. Yeah. This one wanted to be MacGyver when he grew up. He just didn't know I was going to marry one. Yeah. But anybody else want to say anything about Stan? Feel more than free. I'm done.
Stan and I had a rough start when we got together. Stan is Stan. We all know. And we had a bit of a misunderstanding with his man. And, my independence. I feel when I do business with somebody, I do business with that person, not with everybody else. But we got in a little argument, and I told him, I said, Stan, I really think you need to cool off and have a glass of tea.
She sure did. She sure
He
did.
went inside and asked Trish why he took my butt.
Yep, sure did.
Well, over the years, things got patched up. Stan's done a lot for me. He's built my cabinets in my home.
Put your floor down.
He put my floor down. He done a lot of work for me. But we were friends. I come over here to see Teresa and Stan be outside. Boy, he'd catch me, have to show me his next project he was working on.
Which was many.
Many. He'd be like the little kid at the candy store. Check this out. Check this out. And I'm glad to say Stan was my friend. He was truly my friend. And Stan does have a heart. And I know that that's going to keep him in his braces. He's going to keep his arms around him. And he's going to be with Teresa. Stan will be back. We'll see you soon. You just fill this place up there. Okay, dude? Good man.
I'll try to speak. Stan was a great brother. It took me many years to realize. He stuck by my side for years just to take care of me. And he finally let the kite string go. And he met Teresa. And it turned into a beautiful situation. She is my sister-in-law, my spiritual friend. Stan was loved by a lot of people. He was an artist with his art and crafts. He was a master at fixing anything. He could fix anything. Anything. And he had a great faith. I know he believed in Jesus Christ. He loved us.
Yes, he did. He loved large.
He
And Polish people got large hearts.
Got you there. You famous.
Very true. Anybody else want to say anything about my husband who's not here anymore? Stand up to his defense. Oh, here we go.
One of the things I liked about him is I could give that man a hard time, and he'd give it right back. You know, I'm kind of a antagonizer. You know, I like my share of mischief, and you know that's what I liked about Stan. You know, he wasn't afraid to give nobody a hard time, and that's what I liked about him. He'd always give me a hard time, but I didn't care about it. You know, it ain't gonna be right when he's gone. I will say I have to miss him. He might be physically gone, but spiritually he's around. He's watching us right now.
He's here. He's here.
I don't. Just gonna miss him.
Stan was the first friend. Stan and Teresa was the first friend. And probably the first friends to everybody who moved in on this street. But they were here before us, not too long, but he and Teresa were first. And they broke the ice. And Teresa became a real good friend. And Stan, he was always there by her side. I was always amazed when I walked up to the house at what Stan had recently done. I mean, beautiful walkways and gates. And it just impressed me what kind of talent he had. And Teresa never, if she wanted something and he could provide it with his hands, it was provided.
Amen.
He even dug his own well, his own septic system.
Dave helped.
Yeah, Dave. But they were the first, and Stan's still here. I can see him amongst the trees and the bird song. He ain't left us. He's still here, and I don't think he'll ever leave.
You look around and see everything Stan did. He's
He's
everywhere.
everywhere.
I don't get away from him. I don't want to get away from him. I don't want to get away from him. You want to say anything, Dave?
Yeah,
Stan and
my name's
I-
David. I'm here with Jan. My wife is Jan. We just moved in here a couple years ago. Stan's the kind of guy you just kind of, you know, latch on to. She's been a real good friend of me for the last 2 years. And we just click. You know, I don't care who you are. She's like a magnet. And it's just true friend. I don't care, man, anybody. You guys, you know, you got everybody here knows him. You call him up 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, he come wherever you're at, you know, give you a hand, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just kind of guy he was. He is. Like I said, you're gonna see him around here all the time, no matter what you look at. Teresa, I just hate it for you, you know. You guys go home by yourself, but he's still gonna be here with me.
Yeah.
I mean, always.
I look around and it's all Stan. Because he built all this.
I mean,
He built all this. Him and Dave. I did a little.
you know,
I'm
in
the
your life,
flower
you're only
girl.
going to meet, you know, a few people you call true friends. And, stand for them. You're only going to have two friends. I'm sorry.
You know, a lot of
They
times,
walk on the
I
bottom.
lived across the street. I've known the Scesnys for 10 and a half years. They were here helping us the very first day before we even moved our home out here. Stan was never afraid to try new things. We tried baby horses. He was out there with us, trying to save them. He wasn't afraid to try new things. People would come to my house and say, they live in that. I said, yeah, but have you been over there to see what they live in? I said, Stan has done a great job with what he's got. And then every time I needed Stan, even though we weren't always on the same page, he was always there if I needed him. And just like my sister said, you know, to Stan, women didn't work on cars. Women didn't build things. But he was the first one to show me what he was doing with his cars, or when he was building something. And I was proud of him for it. I was proud of him for it. And I'll miss him. I think we all will.
There's a lot of heart here.
A whole lot of heart. And he put his heart in everything he did, including loving Teresa.
He loved me dearly. I loved him right back. Yep. I mean, never made another MacGyver.
I was always shocked at some of the things that he built. The wheelbarrow and the dolly over there. You know,
He was creative. He was gifted.
I'm sitting under one of his creations right here.
every morning and breakfast or something.
I could add to something too about how he built stuff like that. When I was 5, my real dad passed away, and the guy who raised me up was a carpenter by trade. So I just relate, you know. I remember Stan and my stepfather about the same way. And Stan, both of them, I don't know how they could do it. They could build something out of anything, you know. They just know how. It was in their blood or something. Better than any of us.
Him and Teresa pulled me in up there, you know. This is a friend. He was out of work, gave me work. And he just won't let me go. I know, he's just pulling weeds or whatever, but I'll tell you what.
Hey, you helped him with my garden.
He yelled me out a lot. All the jobs that I got, I asked him a question, tell me how to do it or whatever, give me an idea. I'll miss him.
Well, adding to what Mark was just saying, it was similar to my thoughts. That I remember the day they came in with the trailer, and he said, I'm going to make something out of this. And he's the only person I know that could build a home and just keep building and building. Every time I came by, it's like, where's the living room? You know, it's over there now. Oh, geez, you know. It was just, he just kept, extending, and, I mean, not reading a book to do it, he just did it. If he had a piece of wood and a nail, he'd make something out of it, you know, and that's the one thing that, you know, really thought that there was, you know, something that he had, like you said, in his blood. Not too many people have that, you know.
Taught me how to be a hoarder.
He will be missed.
Stan was my stepdad. I guess most people know me and knew Stan knew. We had our ups and downs. We had our moments. We didn't always exactly get along most of the time. But here lately, I guess over the years I've watched things he's done for my mom and how he's treated my mom, and I really just think that that's the coolest shit I've ever seen, Mom.
And then you met Bobby and you knew what real love was about.
Well, I seen it with
And
you
you
and him
appreciate
a lot more. Him and Bobby were really, he really liked Bobby. He may not like me too much, but he liked my choice in men, so.
That's good.
But I remember when y'all first moved out here, and I She kept looking around going, "You're living where? In what? That's a trailer? What?" And then I walked in, and I kept making jokes to him all the time. He's telling me, "Stan, I'm going to take pictures of your place. I'm going to send it to Jeff Foxworthy for redneck yard of the century." Because this got year topped by a long shot. And roofing shingles is the walkways. And he's like, "Yeah, but ain't no weeds coming up. You got a path to walk." I'm like, "Yeah." They had the outhouse when they first moved out here. Of course, if you went in the wintertime, it was like being in the tropics because she had all her plants in there because he didn't want her plants to die. Anything my mom wanted, Stan made sure she had it. But beyond that, he loved my mom more than any man's ever loved her in her life. And he was great for her. And I'm so sorry, Mom.
Me too, honey.
Stan was my pops.
Take your time.
You got it, son.
Deep breath. It's okay.
Take your time.
I remember when I was his age, and
Yep. Your age.
they had the Peterbilt, and now I'm 22, and what I learned from him and my grandmother has helped me provide for my wife as far as driving a truck. You know, I hadn't stuck with it, but I still know how. And everybody I talk to that drives a truck, they're like, "Well, how'd you learn?" Well, my grandmother's a truck driver. And everybody looks at me kind of funny, like, "What?" Yeah, my grandma had a 379 feet, and they just looked at me like I was crazy. And they said, "Well, how'd you learn?" But honestly, I don't know. I was too little to remember, but as far as I know, my granddaddy taught her. When I was about 14, I come to live with them, and my grandmother, who lives in Fayette County, was still alive, and I was too much of a titty baby. I couldn't leave her, so I went back, and he's been there for a lot of my life. He's seen me from the time I was 3 or 4 years old, maybe 5.
Falling off the horse.
He's seen me learn how to ride a horse. Everything I know about a horse, he was there. He was a great man to look up to. Very respectable man.
Luckily, he made it to your wedding.
Yes, he did.
And it's just so, it's crazy to me and my wife that just 2 months ago, he was at my house.
It's okay, son. Take your time.
For one of the biggest days of my life.
And he had fun, too.
You can tell by the pictures.
Yep, he was smiling. He was happy.
Huge smiles.
He was proud of you. And it seems to think you had got a pretty good woman, by the way.
Yes.
He won my wife's heart over
Yeah, she put up with
the
you.
minute that he met her.
Because he was married to me?
And
Oh, shit.
you know, he was just
grinning from ear to ear just 2 months ago. He was so proud of that car that he built.
Mhm.
And
My car.
Y'all's car.
That you
My
drove
car
to the
now.
wedding.
yeah,
She did.
Yep, it made it there and back.
That's right.
Thank God.
the funniest thing was he said, "I'm going to take one of your wedding presents and use for a temporary fix on the car."
Oh yeah, that was funny. You lost a whisk.
And that just relates back to what everybody said. That he's very creative. He can fix anything. And, I mean, you don't necessarily need the parts, evidently.
You use what's on hand.
And, I mean, he truly was a jack of all trades. And if anybody tells me to this day that I'm a jack of all trades, I said, no, you ain't. You can't turn a reefer trailer into a house and make it into a big company house, evidently.
Home.
Another thing, my pops loved his guns. And I bet.
No.
And they said,
Miss those nightly shots.
Thank God we all missed.
I'm gonna say that. I'll pop a few off just to make everything normal.
That's right. So Mom can come out and accommodate that.
they said, they asked me what I wanted for a wedding present. The only thing I wanted was a pistol. And I think he wore his pistol to my wedding just to say, here it is. She ain't getting it.
Probably so.
And that's all I wanted from him, but he wasn't having it. He wasn't getting his. And
We'll talk about that later.
I mean, once he had it, you wasn't getting it. I don't care if it was wore out or whatever. I mean, there's trees that he's cut still laying here. He was going to build something out of them, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he did.
I remember the first time I came here. There wasn't nothing but a hole right over there where that house is. A blue trailer over there with my aunt's saddle and all of our tack in it. And like my mom said, a shingle pathway into that big truck trailer.
Yep. He didn't want you to get muddy.
And when I told my wife, Carla, about it, she's like, do what?
That's what I said. I said, what? You gonna do what with
She
that
said,
trailer?
she told me there was no way.
Live off the land.
She said, there's no way they're living in a truck trailer.
You put a
I
roof
said,
over their head.
oh yeah.
That's what Terry and I always said.
They, I said, he gutted it out, and I told her a story about how he gutted it out and made it a house, and they have wood heat in the cellar, and I mean, there's a lot of memories made right here, but a lot of childhood memories made on Gary Cove Road. He built a house for his sister and them by him and Dave and her husband with his 2 hands. The only thing he had there was a concrete truck. That's the only thing he ordered for that house. The rest of it he did by himself.
And Dave.
And they painted it yellow, all color.
No, we